A very good day to you, my great friends, viewers, subscribers, and co-political analysts from all over the world. Thank you for joining me on yet another episode of your favorite political talk show, The Truth with Ben Jokes. Now, they say when the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. 99.9% of politicians in Nigeria don't even know the true purpose of wielding political power, and as such, they do not know what it means to lead. While leaders in other parts of the world constantly move to ease the pains of their people, the rulers in Nigeria are daily seeking out more ways to frustrate the people of this country. When Peter Obi spoke about the student loan initiative, the aim was to reduce the number of out-of-school Nigerians, youths and children, because UNESCO's estimate of out-of-school Nigerians was about 30 million last year, which is ridiculous. So Obi talked about getting more people back to school using the student loan scheme. But this regime borrowed the idea and perverted it. They twisted it and turned it to an initiative that will send more people out of school. This regime removed subsidy on education, which is a move that will double and triple school fees. As a matter of fact, has doubled and tripled school fees in many organizations. Then they are now planning to give few students loan to pay those doubled and tripled school fees. What a contradiction. If you cannot improve things, why not leave them the way they are? So what happens to the numerous students who won't get the loan? The answer is chaos. And few hours ago, protest broke out in University of Ibadan UI as their school fees was once again increased from 230,000 naira to 412,000 naira. How many homes in Nigeria today can raise 412,000 naira to pay a child's school fees? Before I show you that protest and how Nigerians reacted, let me quickly show you this video where the presidential candidate of SDP in 2023, Adewale Adebayo, tore the Tinubu regime apart. See the video.
Well, there are many things to pack in there. Number one, permit me, with due respect, to disagree with those who say that President Tinubu is not responsible for any problems inherited from Buhari's administration. I will rather take the word of President Tinubu himself, who said that he will continue where President Buhari stopped. So whatever any other person, any other apologist is saying is not as important as what the president himself said as a matter of presidential policy, that he is going to continue where President Buhari stopped. And he was influential in President Buhari's government. He was influential in the policy. He now has inherited it, and they are carrying on the same baton. So let us rest that once and for all. In addition, the issue of belt tightening in an economy is not a problem at all. Belt tightening is required. But what the APC government has done, especially President Tinubu, is tightening the belt around the neck of the people. If you are tightening the belt around the waist, well, that could be a waist trainer and it can tell you how to consume less. But you cannot tighten the belt around the neck of the people, in which case they will not be able to breathe. The things that are going up for the poor are things which are not discretionary. In finance, and in public finance especially, there's something we call discretionary spending. Discretionary spendings are spendings that you elect whether to spend or not. So for a family, in the microeconomics of a family, whether to have food is not discretionary. You have to have food. Whether to have energy, basic energy to live in the modern world, electricity to power your light and power your cooking and all of that, there's nothing discretionary there. Educating your children is not discretionary. When you catch a malaria fever here or some other typhoid or whatever, it is not discretionary whether you should go to the dispensary or a pharmacy or a hospital to take care of yourself. That is where they are tightening the belt. That's why it is almost unconstitutional the way they are running the government. Now, when it comes to economic choices, The things that the government is spending its money on are things which are discretionary.
You heard that. This regime is wasting billions on discretionary ventures like the purchase of private jets, 150 billion naira, building of 21 billion naira mansion for just one man. Look at the kind of items in the 2024 budget. A budget full of frivolities and scam, buying hundreds of millions of naira worth of SUVs, but the same government is asking Nigerians to bear hunger, asking Nigerians to be discretional about their children's education and health. What a shame. That is why Mr. Adebayo said it is almost unconstitutional the way they are running the government, and I completely agree with him. This government removed subsidy on petrol, on education and electricity at the same time. The same government cannot provide adequate security for the people to live and travel freely or even go into agriculture. People cannot go to farms. So now tell me, what is it that Nigerians benefit from government? What is your benefit from government as a citizen of this country if you are not a civil servant receiving salaries? Just tell me one thing. And the aim of sharing this video is to emphasize the rot in the system and the need for Nigerians to make up their minds to wrestle this country out of the hands of the APC. Akpabio said those who want to protest should go ahead and protest while he and his colleagues will be eating. But Nigerians won't stop protesting. Another one is loading, another mighty one. And this is how Nigerians will continue until the protest will eventually consume Akpabio and his colleagues. Point blank, period. Now, let us look at that protest in University of Ibadan, UI. The school management hiding under the student loan initiative to exploit students of the school and possibly send some out of school. Look at how the papers reported this unfortunate incident. Breaking: University of Ibadan students protest fee hike. Others vow to boycott classes till demands are met. Students at the University of Ibadan UI in Oyo State have taken to the streets in protest following the University Governing Council's decision to increase school fees for the 2023-2024 academic session. It was gathered that fees were increased from 230,000 naira to 412,000 naira, which triggered reactions among the student body. In a statement dated August 30, 2024, signed by the Union President Aweda Bolaji and issued through the General Secretary Ogundijo Dolapo Japheth, the Students' Union rejected the decision made by the Governing Council. At the protest held on August 29, 2024, from 10:20 p.m. to 2 a.m., the students resolved that we reject the decision made by the Governing Council. It reads in part, the students call for a total boycott of classes till our demands are fulfilled. According to the statement, the students demand a reversal of the school fees. The students demand that the school fees portal be shut down within 24 hours until our demands are met. The protest that began on August 29th will continue until our demands are fulfilled. The students are encouraged to make full use of social media and the hashtags #UI fees must fall and #save UITs must be used. He added that Students' Union will make its resources available for mobilization, which will start at 5 a.m. on Friday. But the council also justified the fee increase by referencing current economic conditions and encouraged students to take advantage of the federal government student loan fund as well as scholarships provided by the university and various philanthropists to assist those in financial need. What do you mean by those in financial need? 98% of the students in that school can't pay that fee. What do you mean by those in financial needs? Who is not in financial needs? Can you see the joke that the APC and school management have turned student loan initiative into? When school fees was 100,000 naira, many students were struggling to pay. Some dropped out of school because they couldn't afford to pay. That was why the student loan initiative was conceived by patriotic presidential aspirants like Peter Obi. The APC went ahead and removed subsidy on education because of the promise of a loan that students have not even seen. Now school fees, everything have skyrocketed. You want to give a loan of 500,000. Now these ones are saying their school fees is 412,000. And it is only few students that will get the loan. What will happen to the ones that will not get it? The whole loan thing is even still hanging in the balance. We know Nigeria. We know how these things are done. These guys are just trying to destroy everything in this country. And look at how Nigerians reacted to that protest in UI. Let's take some of the tweet reactions. This tweet here by David says, "My alma mater, them get luck, say we don't finish. Now front, we for day. The students should better step up for themselves." Because I don't know where they expect their parents to go and get 412,000. It doesn't make any sense at all in this economy. And this tweet here by Ogechukwu says, "Emilokon gave you student loan. Take advantage of it." That is it. He's mocking them. What do you mean by student loan? School fees 412,000 naira. Where are students going to get? Where are their parents going to get that money? Electricity bills up. Inflation skyrocketing. And you are still telling them to come and pay this amount? What sort of nonsense is this? And this tweet here says, "Why is all this happening at the same time in this country? Why at the same time? Everything falling apart at the same time. You can't have a single day of rest in this country under the APC. What kind of cost association is this?" And this tweet here says, "From 230,000 naira to 412,000 naira. They will tell you they have removed education subsidy and that Americans pay more than that." That is always their argument, that education is cheap in Nigeria. If you go to other countries like the US, Canada, it is very expensive there. But they will never tell you about the minimum wage in those countries. They will never tell you about the favorable condition that the governments of those respective countries have put in place for their people to be able to earn. You want to tax the people. Obi said it. He said taxation is a reward that government gets after giving so much to the people. That in our own case, we have not given anything to the people. Ordinary security of lives and properties, you can't guarantee. And all you are thinking of is how to take from the people. Where are the people supposed to get this money to give to you exactly? That is why crime has become a mainstay in Nigeria today. I was talking at an event some days ago. If you pick youths in Nigeria between age 18 to 26, if you pick 10 in the area where I live, pick 10 of them, more than 6 of them are into internet fraud. And by the time I began to liaise with people living in other parts of the country, their realities were even worse. So we are breeding criminals in Nigeria because of the economy, because of the state of affairs. And some people are acting as if nothing is wrong, as if everything is just fine. No, it is not just fine. It is time for Nigerians to rise up and say no to all this. And in other news, yesterday I was telling you that resident doctors began their strike on Monday. And I said that instead of the government to quickly rise up and have meaningful discussion with these resident doctors and quickly ask them to resume, to show them that they are genuinely making moves to meet their demands. And of course, you know they will resume if they see clearly that the government is working towards meeting their demands. But I told you that the government will not have that meaningful discussion, that what they will do is to start threatening those doctors. Now look at what is happening. Nigerian government threatens no work, no pay for striking doctors despite failing to rescue abducted colleague, reporters. The Nigerian government has announced its intention to enforce the no work, no pay policy on resident doctors who are currently on strike. The government said the decision was made in response to the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors 7-day warning strike, which began on Monday. The strike was called in response to the abduction of Dr. Ganiat Pupola, a registrar at the National Eye Center in Kaduna, who was kidnapped 8 months ago, along with her husband and nephew. While her husband was released in March, Dr. Pupola and her nephew remain in captivity. However, the government will not tolerate industrial action that disrupts essential healthcare services and will enforce the no work, no pay policy accordingly, the statement noted. In view of this, the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare wishes to bring to the notice of the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors that in line with extant labor laws, the federal government will evoke the no work, no pay for the number of days the strike was observed. I told you. And look at how Nigerians reacted. Let's take some of the tweet reactions. The responder here says the government should please beg them to go back to work on behalf of the citizens that cannot afford medical tourism abroad. It doesn't concern them because they will go abroad and treat themselves. And Koju here says, what a country. And this tweet here by Adao Silvano says, which kind government be this? So they should forget about their colleague in the hands of bandits? The country is finished. What is money compared to human life? God will judge you all. God will judge them, yes, but Nigerians must also rise up and judge them. Because Nigerians cannot continue to suffer in this country while they are waiting for God to come and judge politicians. They can also rise up and begin to demand that the right things be done. I keep saying it, no matter how strong an association is, they cannot be stronger than the collective. And if Nigerians would unite, they will be able to take their country back. But until then, make I still enter town. Make I go get some ogbonge political news wey una go like. Why? Because now because of una I dey here, so don't go.